everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, April 14th, 2024. Nikki and Victor's 40th anniversary celebration. I had to cry and eat a handful of chocolate to get through that episode. No joke. When the episode was over, I looked down. I had a pile of tissues and a pile of candy wrappers. Thank goodness for leftover Easter candy. Well, I thought it might be fun to start us out with a poll question. I'm curious to know how many of us Y&R chatters were able to watch the very first Nikki and Victor original wedding on April 13th, 1984. Were you watching live on the day that Nikki and Victor originally first got married? If you were, or if you weren't, go to yrchat.com and vote this week, and we'll just do a little poll to understand how many of us were like really comparing and thinking about where we were 40 years ago when they were getting married. Now, I am certain that the re-wedding ceremony was not as splashy as the first one. I've only seen the first one in reruns, and it was very lavish. The dress, the scenery, everything about that original wedding was a big deal. And this one was much more calm and subdued, as evidenced by the fact that it was happening in the chill jazz lounge. It was much more of a chill re-wedding ish celebration. And yeah, it wasn't big, but I felt like all of the sentiment was there, all of the love and affection and years and companionship, all of that was there. We just have to ignore all of the years that they spent apart. We just have to ignore all of the years that they spent hating each other. Throw that right out the window. Oh, I really loved how the episode started out with Victor giving Nikki a beautiful new ring, because I just never tire of that. I think that a well-timed gift of a romantic piece of jewelry is just always good. It's always romantic, and this was clearly the right occasion for it. He wouldn't be giving her a ring at the altar like he did 40 years ago, but he gave her a beautiful ring as a token of their years together, a ruby for their ruby anniversary. I never tire of that. What I do tire of sometimes, every time, are the guest speeches. I don't love the guest speeches, whether it's at a wedding or a Thanksgiving. That's usually my least favorite part of the whole shebang. But I will say these were short. So that was fine. They were not drawn out. I felt like Jack's speech took the cake, of course. The second Jack stood up, Victor said, "Careful now." That was fun. And Jack could not resist getting in a jab or two. Kind of reminded me of the speech that Nikki gave at Jack and Diane's wedding, because the whole time I'm like, what's he gonna say? And it was lighthearted. It was funny, and they both took it very well. I thought it was very nice, and the whole thing was just very nice. It was short, but everything was heartfelt, and I've only been watching for 30 years. I'm a newbie coming in at 30 years. So I haven't been on the absolute whole journey with Nikki and Victor from the beginning at the wedding in 1984, but I feel like I've been on a big part of the journey with them, and so that made me feel like I was a part of the celebration. I thought everybody did so well, brought the sentiment, and looked so beautiful too. I thought Nikki looked really pretty in her like kind of sparkly mermaid evening gown. She looked like she could just rise up out of the sea with her bedazzled hair. Crystalled hair. But I mean, if we're talking bedazzling, Sally Spectra has my best dressed award for the evening because I just loved that green sequin dress when it was matched up with her red hair. She just looked so good in green, and that dress just sparkled, and it was just like, oh, that was where my eye went fashion wise. I thought she was a stunner. And of course, my best dressed man is Michael. He was the only guy who decided to go outside the box of black suit. He went with a gray suit jacket, and I thought he looked very nice. But that, by the way, is not a knock on black in any way, because it seemed like several females were wearing black, and you cannot go wrong with a basic black tuxedo. I mean, a man that can pull off a basic black tuxedo, I just think has got it all worked out. So, yeah, all of the men looked nice, really. Speaking of men, has anyone else noticed that Victor's security team is hot? Victor hires all hot guys. We had the hot, blonde, silent type that has been following Nikki around for the last several weeks. He's kind of a Chris Hemsworth look-alike. Every time I see him, I think, you can guard me anytime. Then we had this new hot bald black guy in the jazz lounge. He was new. I'd never seen him on the security team before, but he caught my eye. He was keeping an eye on things, and I was keeping an eye on him. And then we had the head of security, the one guy who actually had some speaking lines, and he was a silver fox. I'm like, wow, Victor, this is a few good men indeed. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, the silver fox security guard guy promised Victor that he had men stationed all around the athletic club at every single entrance. And yet, Jordan was able to hang around right there at the very front entrance, right outside the revolving doors, practically the entire time, peeping in on who was coming and going, including the going of New Harrison. Ooh, how about that little cutie and his lucky bun? Aww, his little backpack. So cute. I like that kid. And he was really enthralled with Claire, which is so adorable. But it's also that kind of blind affection that could get you kidnapped, little Harrison. You obviously haven't learned that lesson yet, because in the previews for next week, everyone is freaking out because it looks like Claire kidnapped Harrison. Kyle saying, I never should have left her alone with him. And Summer's going to Victoria's house like with a big old I told you so hand on her hip. But I think that is all a complete red herring. I think we are meant to have that little bit of doubt as a trickaroo. I think we're meant to see Summer and her skepticism of Claire paying out, with, just everybody frantic, in a panic, talking, about how Claire can't be trusted. And some are saying, well, I was right about her all along. See, I knew. But then in reality, I really think that Jordan took them both or is somehow involved. I don't think all is what it seems. I don't think Claire kidnapped Harrison. I think she realized that he left his lucky bun behind and she followed him out the door, and Jordan must have seen them both and followed them. Because I think that Jordan, even more than wanting revenge on Nikki and Victor, is going to want revenge on Claire, because I think Jordan feels most betrayed by Claire. I mean, Victor and Nikki supposedly screwed over her sister, but Claire screwed over her. Claire betrayed her, and she's going to want to destroy Claire for that. Jordan is going to want to try to destroy Claire's new life and this new reputation that she's trying to build. That's what I think. But I could be wrong. It definitely could be that Claire has been tricking us and she's turned back to the dark side. Either way, I am definitely looking forward to finding out what the action's going to be next week. This week we had the lovely sentiments in the low-key chill jazz lounge, but next week we're going to have the action. And Nikki's reaction to dealing with it all is to just drink her way through it. Just until Jordan is caught. That's the plan. One sip at a time. One sip at a time. Not one glass at a time. Not one bottle at a time. Just one sip at a time. Okay, that's her plan for coping. And then, while she does that, she just has a sip, and then all she has to do is sit back and wait on Victor's security team to catch Jordan. That's their whole job. So all of our hopes are hinging on Victor's security team, right? I mean, what could go wrong? Their track record is impeccable. I finally got what I needed this week, which was Victoria opening up about her house fire. Because that was just such a big, gaping, emotional hole that was driving me crazy. And now I at least feel like the hole has been filled. I just needed to sit down and hear Victoria talking about the Father Knows Best house, this iconic Father Knows Best inspired house, and how she and Billy bought it together, and how it was on this quaint little street where you could go and borrow a cup of sugar from your neighbor if you were into that kind of thing, which Victoria isn't. It was really important. I mean, at the time, it's like everything on the show was becoming so modern, and this house was a throwback. This house was nostalgic, and it was meant, I think, to be a respite in Victoria's crazy life. This representation, a physical representation of calm in her life, where everything else was crazy, and now that is all gone. Everything's gone. All of the kids' trophies and ribbons and all of the knickknacks and the things that evoke the memories, all of that's gone. And I mean, just like all of the little visual things that create the patchwork of your life and your memories, and just all gone, and it's all irreplaceable. And Victoria said that she would never try to replace it. She doesn't want to rebuild, and now she feels like the only thing that she can really do is move on by moving back into the tack house. And that works for me, moving back into the tack house with Claire, of course, and with Claire getting first dibs on bedrooms because she's the oldest. I think that's totally unfair. I don't know if anybody else had that reaction, but if I were Johnny and Katie, I think that would tick me off right off the bat, that I had this new sister coming into my house. I mean, my house is completely gone. I lived in this house as a child. All my stuff is gone. We're moving into a new place, and this new sister gets first choice of bedroom? No. You just got here. I predict that Johnny and Katie will join forces against Claire. They'll form an alliance with Summer and become the anti-Claire movement. Which I love, by the way. I love the anti-Claire movement. I loved all of the shady looks that Summer was given to Claire at the anniversary party. It works for me because I think it's just no fun if Claire gets a free pass. There has always got to be somebody there challenging the I'm not that person anymore narrative. That is the rule. And right now that person is Summer. It's her job to challenge this I'm a new person narrative. And I guess we'll just have to see next week if Claire ends up passing that test. Because I think if she passes the test and she ends up being the hero of the situation, which is what I think is going to happen, then, I mean, boom, it's going to be easy street from here on out with Claire. She's got a new house, a new bed to sleep in, and Mom and Dad are totally going to hook up. Wow, they kissed this week. Ooh. I'm telling you, Colt is a stud. He laid the groundwork for the kiss last week, and then he went in for it this week. And I think that Cole and Victoria are adorable. I mean, how could Victoria resist Cole's sparkly blue eyes and that kind of cowboy charm? Come on, Victoria. Save a horse. Ride Cole. Think about this. If Neil ended up being Claire's father, then Lily and Claire would have been sisters. Yeah, I had totally forgotten that Neil and Victoria were together. I just didn't remember it being during the pregnancy, but apparently he wanted to adopt Eve. So he would have been her dad, and then Lily and Claire would have been sisters. They haven't even met yet. They don't even know how close they were. It's funny because, except for Moses, all of Neil's children are non-biological. He really had a way of collecting children, in a way. And he almost collected Claire. Well, I cannot believe, but am pleasantly surprised to see how nasty and how fast things got nasty with Lily and Daniel this week. Because he came to her with this heartfelt plea. Oh, Queen Lily, relinquish Princess Louisa unto me. And Lily looked like she was buying it. She had sad eyes. It looked like she was really listening to what he was saying. And then she turned on us and she just dug her crystal heel right in and said, "No, sir. I don't think so. I own Omega Sphere, which means I own your precious Princess Louisa too." Well, she didn't say it like that. But the attitude was there. It was almost like that. And then Daniel said, okay, well, then I guess what you're saying is you want to fight, and then a fight you shall have. And then he spun around on his grungy sneakers, and he kind of sauntered out the door. Oh, my gosh. Such hostility. And I'm all for it. I want an icky, sticky, uncomfortable battle royale. I want Lily and Daniel to rip each other apart and then rip each other's clothes off. Take that, Heather. How would you like that? I mean, come on. It's not a proper triangle without revenge sex. Will the real Ashley Abbott please stand up? The real Ashley Abbott just laid there, snoozing, while this like whole classic angel and devil thing on her shoulders played out. Wow. I mean, honestly, in a week where Nikki and Victor had their anniversary celebration, I just thought everything with Ashley took the cake. I mean, Nikki and Victor, all of the emotional stuff was there, but the Ashley stuff had grit, it had action, it had movement, it had emotion, it had everything. Oh, and it had a digital background, because we were talking about digital backgrounds this week. Yeah, and it was a doozy too, all white. That all white background with the 3 beds, it was so white in there. I kept thinking, am I in heaven? What's heaven white in there? Heaven with a white bed. I mean, white background, white bed. Is this heaven? Not with that she-devil around. Yeah, it was really cool though. I loved the visual representation of Ashley's 3 personalities. It was 3 Ashleys and 3 beds, and to our left was the impetuous teen angel Ashley. She was, you know, had in her, she likes hair clippies. She's the kind of girl that likes hair clippies, and she cannot understand why anyone would drink alcohol. And then on our right, we had the all black wearing, reckless she-devil Ashley, who apparently was planning to kill Tucker. Can't have him? Just kill him. Okay, that's a plan. That is a plan. And that plan may not be thwarted yet. I don't know. And then in the middle of it all, we had our Ashley, you know, the one that we know and love and who's rational-ish. And she was just laying there, napping, while the 2 other personalities were jockeying for control. Now, the she-devil Ashley was downright scary, maniacal, and everyone was starting to notice. Audra noticed, and I thought that was really interesting to see Audra realizing that what Tucker had been saying was correct, and also that Tucker could be in danger. It's a really good thing that Audra noticed that something was off. I mean, how could you not when Ashley's like saying she's gonna get him, gotta help. I mean, like, she's like, this is odd. I mean, I can't imagine walking in on that. But it's a really amazing thing that Audra was able to key into it and tell Tucker, because not only was she-devil Ashley planning to kill Tucker, but she was planning to frame Audra for it, which I don't know how that would work. I guess she could frame it as it being a lover's quarrel or something. But luckily, teen angel Ashley, I'm just imagining her with a denim jacket with like rhinestones on the back saying teen angel when there are clippies in the hair. Yeah, teen angel Ashley was there trying to stop it, you know. She wanted that not to happen. She wanted to fight for good. She is the angel after all. And then also we had earthly angel Tracy trying to stop it too, or trying to help it too, because Tracy knew that Ashley talking about blacking out and ending up in places where she didn't know she was, that's serious. And so Tracy decided to call the family together to confront Ashley, to have an intervention of sorts, to try to get her some help. And that did not go well, to say the least. that was a hard episode to watch because Ashley walked in as the she-devil and she found her entire family there in the living room, and Tucker also came and went. He was there for a little bit too, which only added fuel to the fire because he was first of all ready to provide evidence to everyone that she was that she had some instability and that she was, courting him despite saying that she wasn't, and, all this stuff. He was ready to present the text messages. But then it also didn't help that he decided that now would be a good time to drop the bomb that he was intending to marry Audra. Maybe not the best time to mention that, Tucker, but I think he was seeing it as, I need to be really clear with her. I need to let her know that I'm moving on completely and she needs to move on from me. But it didn't help. I think after feeling rejected by Tucker and maybe seeing her plans start to fall apart, the she-devil Ashley could feel the walls closing in, like, oh no, everybody's on to me. I have to do something. And so she started, feeling attacked by everyone, and so she was lashing back. Like, the more pressure that they were putting onto her to see a therapist, the more desperate she became, that part of her personality became, to keep control. And she just absolutely let loose on everyone. I mean, Jack, you were the son, but I was the favorite. Diane, you faked your own death. You're disgusting. Billy, you're just happy that someone is on a lower peg than you. And Tracy, you're just jealous of me, probably because Daddy called me my beauty. Wow, that was rather insensitive of him, wasn't it? I needed somebody to hold me back during that, because I was like, no, nobody talks to Tracy like that. And I think that's what hurt the most. I think that was the one that hurt the most, because Tracy called the meeting, and she did so with an awareness that she was breaking Ashley's confidence in order to help her. And that was a really difficult decision for Tracy, and I'm sure she felt really twisted up about that. And then for Ashley to lash out so hard and to go on the attack with saying the thing that she knew would hurt most, and then saying it to the person who has tried more than anyone to help her. Tracy has tried more than anyone to help her. Tracy flew to Paris with her. Tracy sat there and talked with her for hours. Tracy promised to keep a secret that she didn't want to keep, and then she had to make this really difficult decision to not keep it and then accept the brunt of the fury, knowing that she was going to accept the brunt of the fury. It was rough. But then, pretty much as everything reached this really fevered peak, it all just suddenly stopped. Ashley grabbed her head and she was kind of shaking, and she collapsed onto the couch, and then when she woke up and came to, she didn't remember a thing, nothing. It was medium Ashley back in control. I don't know. How do you like your Ashley? Small, medium, or large? Large was drama, but I will take medium. Thanks to the small. Thanks to the small, but I'll take the medium. Large was a little large. But then Jack called Sharon over, and Sharon came over with her little notebook and her little pencil in the middle of the night. She sat there diligently taking notes about what had happened, even though she was not really able to do much about it and knew she couldn't do much about it. She was just there, I guess. Just, oh, you need somebody to talk to? Okay, well, that's me. Very gracious of her. She said, I want to help. And she helped. She was there. Just there. No questions asked. Didn't even ask on the phone, like, what's this about? She just showed up. So I will give Sharon credit for showing up to talk. But Ashley didn't really have the ability to talk after everything that had happened. And she was able to break through and gain, control again. She was too tired to talk. So Tracy took her upstairs, put her in bed, and covered her with a quilt that she had made for her 21st birthday. That is so Tracy. The quilt, you guys. The quilt. It's your 21st birthday. You are probably going to go out and go partying and getting drunk tonight. But I want you to know that I spent hours and hours over the past couple of weeks making you this quilt. Oh my goodness. Tracy. So Ashley went back to sleep, and we don't really know which Ashley's going to wake up. Who are we going to get when she wakes up? That's the question. Is Tracy seems very confident that medium Ashley is going to wake up, but I don't know. I mean, it could even be large Ashley waking up and pretending to be medium. So I don't know. Maybe before Ashley can get some therapy, Sharon helped them get an idea of what they're dealing with, because downstairs Sharon was talking with everybody and Billy chimed in, and he had a bit of insight about something that I had completely forgotten about, that he had experienced a couple of years ago, a dissociative personality disorder. And I only vaguely maybe remember this. I kind of maybe remember that he was slipping away from Victoria at night, and he was going to that bar, and he'd gotten into some fights, and maybe he ended up in jail, or was Adam in jail? And he said he was thinking of killing Adam at that time, and it was very dark. And it's a distant memory for me, but it's a relevant one. And he had a talking through about it with Tracy. Some flashbacks would have been helpful, no? Because would that have been Jason Thompson playing the role? I think so. So I wish we would have got some flashbacks there, even though it wasn't really about Billy. But, I mean, it was helpful. Maybe more helpful than Sharon. I don't know. Did Sharon help Billy through that? I can't remember. I need more info. Yeah, I don't know. The Sharon thing, it's like, well, she's not really qualified to make a diagnosis about someone who is not her patient, and who she hasn't really talked to at all. But she did say that it could be the same thing. It could be dissociative identity disorder. And she did say that she's going to give the family some referrals first thing tomorrow, which made me feel better. I mean, shoot, when Sharon busts out her notebook and pen, she means business. Logic, restraint, 2 qualities that I am not known for. That was our quote from last week. 2 traits that I am not known for. It was Billy who said that, so I guess maybe we were just kind of foreshadowing that. Billy's, talking about his being unhinged. He was just talking to Chance, because Chance complimented the way that he's handling the whole Chelsea and Adam and Connor situation, and Billy said logic, restraint, which is what Chance was complimenting him on. He was like, those are 2 traits that I am not known for. We had lots of people guessing that was Billy, so congratulations to Calvin, wonderful Wendy, Naomi, Brent, Dolores, Tony, Henry, Tommy, Tanya, Ron, Sharon W., Brittany, Justin, Diana, and Kamna. Congratulations, you guys got it. And you're going to get this one, too. Who said it? Ow! I couldn't resist. And look, I know you're all going to get it, and that's fine. But certain things only come around once in a lifetime, and ow is one of them. So why don't you go and leave your entry at yrchat.com and tell me who said it, and next week during the Y&R Chat, I will give you your shout out. All right, let's take a look at your comments, starting with Dolores, who says, in my opinion, Eileen Davidson is knocking it out of the park with this DID story. The writers have done an outstanding job in developing how it will be presented to us, the viewers. Kudos to all involved in bringing this to the screen. It is an awesome presentation, and Eileen Davidson is the one to pull it off. I was first introduced to her on the soap Santa Barbara, and she was part of the rich Capwell family. I remember a scene where her character had a hot seduction/sexual moment on the corporate boardroom conference table. It was so steamy that I came to realize I was watching it with my mouth wide open and peeking through my fingers, for my hands were over my face. She was a vixen personified. Eileen Davidson will be dynamic in whatever role she tackles, and well deserving of any accolades and awards that she gets. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I wish I could see that scene. I want to watch it with my mouth open. But, I mean, Eileen Davidson, the way she also, that you can see her flipping in and out of the different personalities is really interesting. When she's, you know, the moment at the bar with Audra where she was the teen version, and then she sort of took a little beat, and then you saw her switch to the she-devil version. I mean, it's all, each personality is very distinct. The transitions between them are very distinct. She's clearly so talented, and I think she has been very much awarded and applauded for it, and this is no exception, I'm sure. Well, Sharon W. says, great family scenes at the Abbott mansion. Sad to see sweet, loving, wonderful Tracy have to get called out so strongly by Ashley. Tracy, the sibling that will always stand up for any of her three siblings without expecting anything in return from them, including their loyalty. But Ashley's not accepting help or advice from anyone. She's determined to do things her way no matter who gets hurt. And with her level of anger, instead of hurting Tucker, it may be a family member who gets hurt first. Yeah, I know the stakes are really high there, right? It's like, okay, she says she's out for Tucker, but when the family was physically blocking her in, I was really worried that she was going to hurt one of them, and who knows, maybe she still will. Daisy says, I'm surprised that the Abbotts didn't contact Abby about Ashley. She is her mother. Abby should have been the first person that was called, not Sharon. I hope she's told soon. She definitely want to be there for her mother. I can only imagine, though, how angry she will be when she finds out that the family left her out. Oh my gosh, Daisy. Abby is just left out of everything. She's left out of the Newman drama and left out of the Abbott drama. I mean, I guess on some level I can understand not wanting to call her, not wanting her daughter to have to see and experience that, because that could be very scary seeing your mom act that way. But yeah, I mean, if we're calling together the forces, it seems like Abby should have been there. And it's weird that Diane was there, but Abby wasn't. Laura says, at times, it looked like Diane was really enjoying herself, enjoying the drama. I loved her flash anger with the invitation to go one-on-one with Ashley to protect the family. So glad they brought Diane back, and really glad her storyline is entrenched. Thank you, Y&R. Yeah, Diane's presence there was interesting. I kind of think that wedge is going to continue to grow between Jack and Diane, because didn't you think it was interesting that he told her that she might want to leave the house for the night? So much was going on. I don't know, that I just keep seeing little things like, and then the drama that she's clearly going to have with Kyle. Summer had talked to Kyle this week, and he had said, admitted that he's feeling like Diane's not suited for the role, and Summer told him, well, go ahead and fight for it. And so maybe the combination of the tension at work and the combination of the tension at home is really going to cause problems for Jack and Diane. But yeah, I also did like that moment where Diane said, okay, fine, Ashley, you and me. If you want to take your anger out on somebody, let it be me. That was pretty good. That was all pretty good. Oh, Diana says, I did a deep dive into Ashley's mental history, as I mentioned recently that I remembered Ashley and the previous actor who played Tucker covering up her mental state during a press conference. It seems that Ashley had a brain aneurysm in 2015, and her family urged her to have surgery, which was seeming successful. To my understanding, Ashley collapsed at Abby and Stitch's wedding in 2016 as she suffered a seizure. Apparently, she tried to hide her illness from everyone, and if chatters remember, Ashley met Dr. Simon Neville, who practiced unorthodox medicine on Hillary when Neil had her held captive in the boathouse. I remember Allie really liked the character, and I remember you not wanting to see his character leave the show, yes. He seemed to have cured Ashley from her illness, but then left town. It appears that the Abbotts have forgotten this fact, as Tracy was talking to Billy about Ashley's mental breakdown after losing the baby, but there's no mention of Ashley having these very serious brain issues. Ashley's past brain health issues could possibly be what is causing her to have these blackouts and causing her DID. I guess that's to be expected when the show's been on for a very long time. Oh yeah, I remember Dr. Neville, and I think they were were they a little bit romantic too? Or he was into her or something. I don't know. I just liked that guy. Thought he was good. But yeah, I didn't remember that about her having another mental issue. But yeah, she's plagued with them, right? This is kind of a recurring issue for her one way or another. She might want to be in regular therapy on a regular basis. Oh, well, Naomi says, I also want to compliment the Audra actress for her subtle reactions of confusion. And then realizing that Ashley is one sick chick, just like Tucker was telling her. Her interactions with the teen Ashley and then witnessing the takeover of badass Ashley were very good. Yeah, I like the term badass Ashley. That's a good way of describing it. The teen Ashley and the badass Ashley. I just kept thinking, oh, this is classic, like angel and devil on my shoulder. Which one do I want to listen to? Which one am I going to let take over? I mean, it's all kind of, I think, just meant to be, all of the white space stuff is meant to be a representation of that, I think. Oh, and Sharon W. says, I enjoyed Tucker's behavior in the jazz lounge when he met Sally for the first time. He was almost acting like a high school boy when he asked Audra if she and Sally had been talking about him. He asked if she told Sally about the proposal, and he seemed to be going along with Audra for the time being, but I think he will continue to ask her to marry him. I'm happy to see the old jovial Tucker back for some much needed comic relief. Yeah, Tucker seemed like he had a weight off of his shoulders after coming back from the Abbott house, didn't he? And I think that it's good that Audra has a place to take some of the weight off of her shoulders and talk to Sally, and vice versa. Sally, I'm sure, could use a friend in Audra someday too. And I like this friendship. Oh, okay, so now about the digital backgrounds, of which I think this white background counts. I'm going to guess that was also green screen, but they just turned the whole thing white. I'm surprised 60% of you like the digital backgrounds and are totally okay with it. 40% of you say no, you don't like it. Sue W. says, some of the backgrounds are obviously so fake, but as is the whole show, so that's why I'm okay with them. Yeah. It's all fake. But Tony didn't like the digital backgrounds. Back in the day, when they didn't create a set, they just had someone stand against a wall with a plant on a table. That seemed more realistic. If they use the digital backdrops, the actors can just work from home. That said, any scenario is better than no Y&R. Yeah. I mean, if that's the compromise that we're making on budgets, then yeah, I think it's better. But you're right. It's like, when Jess Walton comes on and does a phone call with somebody, she's probably in Oregon. It seems like she's taping it at her home or something. So you're right. I mean, I think they are capable of working from home with this new technology. I don't know. We'll see how it continues to develop. Well, let's talk about these Newmans, these tricky Newmans. Victoria says Victor must be taking lessons from his top detective. He didn't detect that minty smell on Nikki's breath or the potent, sharp odor of vodka. Nikki can just drink right away under Victor's nose. Yeah, I know. Well, but Sue W. says Victor knows. Selectively, of course. He knows he can't save her, nor control the alcoholism, but policing merely kicks the can down the road. Only Nikki can save herself, or not. Victor's intent is love her through it, and that's a tough call that ultimately many bail from. Oh gosh, oh, Sue W., yes. And Naomi says, I saw a look on Victor's face at the jazz club, but failed to pick up on his acceptance. Victor will stand beside her and let his heart be broken, and now I'm just seeing his total devotion to her thanks to your comment. Yeah, I guess I didn't think about, Victor knowing. I didn't quite get that he knows, and he's choosing to just love her through it. That's interesting. I like that. Victoria says, I'm not sure who is responsible for the artistic camera work on Y&R lately, but the shot of Nikki sneaking off to get a drink, I think this was at the pre-wedding jazz club night, was beautifully shot. I love how we could look in the mirror and see what she was doing. I can't wait to see more. Yeah, I know. I thought that was really pretty too, and I screen capped it. Yeah, a lot of these shots are so beautiful, and that jazz club has it's so rich, and there's a lot of visual interest there for them to play with. Gary says, Nikki's plan to have a little solitary nip to get her through the capture of her Aunt Jordan is interesting. First, I want to say that, like Allie, I too was a bit shocked to see her take that drink at the end of last week. She had just been with her sponsor, and no memorial for Seth. She made it her vow not to take another drink in honor of him. I thought she would keep it, but addiction doesn't work out that way. Well, the little sips are captivating, and Nikki has usually been able to get away with those until the point when she lets it all rip. It's very subtle. Yeah, a lot of times I don't like the Nikki drinking storylines, but I don't know, they must have gotten better. I'm enjoying them this time around. On a lighter topic, Connie says, Y&R never disappoints in the glamorous parties. The gowns were fabulous. Harrison was adorable in his little tux, but it reminded me that the other grandchildren were absent from such a milestone event. Yeah, there was no other kids, just little Harrison, and he was a little plot device, I think. Well, Henry says the ladies' gowns were outstanding. I can feel a poll coming from Allie on who was the best dressed. That would be a hard one. If I had to pick or vote on the best dressed, Summer gets my vote. She was stunning from head to toe. I don't feel any of the ladies would deserve a worse dressed vote, but as far as the gentleman's attire, Nick gets my vote. Oh yeah, so Summer's dress. It was very, Summer was very kind of provocative, her little dress. I don't know, the cutouts on it. She's your best dressed. Yeah, and Sharon W too. Sharon W says Summer was my favorite. She is just beautiful on her own, and the dress was amazing. Sally was also beautiful in her bright green off-the-shoulder dress against her long straight red hair. And last but not least, Nikki looked beautiful with rhinestone studded hairdo and beautiful dress in a beautiful shade of blue. Hey, not to mention the gorgeous ruby ring presented by Victor. I normally think that Abby looks impeccably dressed, but I didn't love her busting out all over pale blue dress today. Some will disagree. But my two favorite guys' wardrobe went to Chance and Adam. They are both handsome, but I will never leave out my heartthrob, not Victor, but Eric Braden. I will always have a soft spot for him in my heart. Handsome and suave with a great voice. Yes, yes. That's gorgeous, Sharon W. And Sue W says, each Y&R woman is undeniably gorgeous in whatever she wears or doesn't wear, but I wasn't wowed by today's party fashions. Sally and Diane's dresses were too gaudy for me. I hate sequins. And I found Nikki's clunky jewelry and crystal hairnet strangely distracting. Lauren's dress was attractive, but with too much side boob threat. Summer, Abby, and Claire, pretty good, but I'll give best dressed to Victoria, as I always appreciate her knockout beauty that doesn't look contrived or posed and movement conscious. but in my opinion, Victoria's understated look was par for her effortless course of wearing fashion that doesn't wear her. Wearing fashion that doesn't wear her. Yes, absolutely. I love that color of Lauren's dress, I have to say, but it was a lot. It was a lot. But hello, we have left someone off this list that is major. The other best dressed, clearly, Jordan. How could we forget that? Jordan is clearly the winner of the best dress for male and female. That is the ultimate best dressed of all time. Gary says, picture Aunt Jordan looking directly into the eclipse and exploding. Oh my goodness, yes. Or what if Aunt Jordan looked directly into the eclipse and the eclipse exploded? The whole sun and moon just... I like that. Okay, well, Victoria says the previews show that Claire may have taken Harrison. Could Jordan be involved? Yes, I think so. And Sharon W. says, I think Jordan took them both. But throughout the show today, I kept thinking that Jordan had already put an explosive into Harrison's backpack. But notice, Adam was not standing with Sally when Victor and Nikki were having their wedding dance. So there is plenty of time for Adam to save them both. After all, he may have seen Jordan whisk Claire and Harrison away at the end of the episode. At the end of a weapon. Oh, okay. I love the idea of Adam saving the day there. I just feel like this is about Claire. This is about Claire saving the day and redeeming herself with Harrison. But I agree with that backpack was a real, like, what's that backpack doing here? I'm not comfortable with that backpack here. Daisy says it looks like Claire kidnapped Harrison for Jordan, but I wonder if she saw Jordan take Harrison and then went after her to go get Harrison back. Jordan has so many tricks up her sleeve. Claire may realize that she took Harrison to replace her. Ooh, and now the guilt-ridden Claire has gone after Jordan to stop her from hurting another family and get Harrison back. I wouldn't be surprised if Claire has tricks up her own sleeve, though, that Jordan will never see coming. Ooh, yes. Oh, but Sue W. says, no worries, everybody. Nick was on it. Thank goodness he briefed the security goons. Yeah, don't worry about it. Nick briefed the security guys. We don't have to worry about any of this. The goons are on it. Whatever happened, Victor's security team is a step behind. Forget about all this speculation. The security team is on it. A little bit of a different topic. Laura says, Chelsea says, me, and my son's diagnosis is all about me. Adam says, me, and my son's diagnosis is all about me. The weakness is hard to watch. Yeah, it's funny because Adam really had some negative opinions about that school that he told at the party. Adam said, this school, this is what they do. They just take your kid and kick you out. Apparently Connor told him that we're the source of his problems, and so they just kicked us out. And I don't know what to believe. I just don't know what to think about this because, okay, well, is the school, are they run by some crackpots or something? Or did Connor really even say this? Was this something that Connor didn't feel comfortable saying in front of his parents? Because in front of his parents, he was all, I love you. And the other, he didn't have anything critical to say of Adam and Chelsea in the other therapy session. And just all of a sudden now, Adam and Chelsea are being led to think that they're the source of the whole problem, or is that just what Adam's takeaway from it is? I don't know. And the other thing is, too, if Adam feels that way, then why is Connor at the school? There is no way that someone would, there would be no, kicking me out when it comes to my kid. There would be no standing in between me and my kid, period. If I felt like that's what the situation was, I'd go back up there and I'd get my kid, no questions asked. But I think you're right, Laura. It's like Chelsea just can't see past her own, I had a suicide attempt. I don't want that to happen to my child. And Adam's just I don't know, he's just resentful, I guess, that he's he's confused and resentful that he's not involved and that the help is not happening in the right way, or I don't know, but you're right. It is less about Connor and more about the parents, I think. It was nice to see Victor make the pledge of helping, and Nikki's going to send a care package, and that's all fine and good, but I just can't imagine that we're going to come back to town and Connor's just going to be like, well, I'm better now, Mom and Dad. I don't get it. I don't get it. Robin says, I think a great storyline and possibly the purpose of the Connor story is for Claire to be the one to bring Connor out of the depths of mental turmoil. It would set Claire on a quick path to child psychologist, and Sharon could have a break from being the GC mental health go-to. Plus, it would solidify a bond between Adam and Claire, the two outsiders. Well, I love that. I think that is dead on, and that really should be the trajectory. I just don't know if it is. Well, let's end this chat talking about Victoria and Cole. Diana says, I was happy to see Cole and Victoria finally kiss. It was very sweet, as is Cole. I look forward to their new romance. Cole is exactly what Victoria needs. They are opposites, and everyone knows that opposites attract. Cole is very warm and sensitive and seems to wear his heart on his sleeve. Victoria is much more conservative with Cole and hides her feelings toward him. She acts very differently with Cole than she did with Nate. Victoria was much more assertive with Nate, as she's often made the first move. Victoria and Nate had a much stronger physical attraction to one another, whereas Cole and Victoria are taking things on a much slower and somewhat cautious pace. This is likely because Victoria has been hurt recently and is afraid to dive into a new relationship too quickly. I am sure as Cole and Victoria get more reacquainted with one another, things will definitely start to heat up between them. Woohoo! Yeah, I mean, Cole almost seems like kind of safe. Cole is a safe, secure kind of guy. I don't think Cole's going to go out and screw her over. He seems like he would be in it for the long haul. Although, I don't know. How about this from good old Marky? I'll leave you on this little zinger, this little twistity twist. Good old Marky says, hello, Allie. Birds do it. Bees do it. Even educated fleas do it. Even monkeys in the trees do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love, said Cole to Chance. I'd watch. Ooh, speaking of the birds and the bees, we have 2 springy birthdays this week. Oh my goodness. Diana, happy birthday, April 17th. Of course you have a spring birthday. You're so springy. You're like a beautiful spring flower. It makes total sense to me that you have an April birthday. It fits your personality. Do you have a favorite flower? Because I will mentally send you a bouquet of them for your birthday this year. Let me know what your favorite flower is and I will mentally send you a bouquet. Happy birthday, my friend. And Jamie, where are you? I hope that you are still with us. I haven't heard from you in a little while. Come back, get your happy birthday and tell us how it's going in your world. Let us know what you did April 19th for your birthday. Oh my goodness, this is like a celebration-y week, isn't it? I guess for everyone, unless your name is Ashley. There's not a whole lot of celebration going on there. Okay, well, that's Y&R Chat for this week. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you go to yrchat.com to leave your comments. And I will come back next Sunday, and we will talk about what happened to little Harrison. What has Jordan done to little Harrison? Can't wait to find out. Okay, I love you guys, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye.